From Interior Alaska's most trusted news source, this is the Fbx Evening News.
Good evening and thank you for joining us. Our top story, Alaska State Troopers say a teenage girl was killed last evening in a car accident here in Fairbanks.
According to a release, the driver, 16-year-old Rebecca Navrot of Fairbanks, was killed in the accident on Trinan Road off of Steel Creek Road. Now, Navrot had a 16-year-old passenger in the vehicle at the time of the accident.
That's right. Troopers say Navrot lost control of the vehicle on a curve. The car then went off the road and rolled. Next of kin have been notified.
Now, neither of the teenagers were wearing their seatbelts at the time of the accident.
Passenger did not receive any injuries in the wreck. The driver, she did die, and the trooper that was on scene, after looking at the wreck and the situation, it appears that the seatbelt really could have saved her life in this instance, and it's very tragic and sad. It's just a reminder that it's no guarantee that a seatbelt will keep you from getting an injury. They should always just wear their seatbelt when they go out, so it's not something that people have to wonder.
Another motor vehicle accident sent one person to the hospital with injuries this afternoon in downtown Fairbanks. According to police on scene, a vehicle was on 3rd attempting to cross Barnett Street and failed to notice the driver of an oncoming vehicle. One driver was carrying 3 passengers, one of which was injured in the accident. Police said it was unclear how serious the injuries were. Now, this is the second accident in the past 2 days where a driver failed to notice an oncoming vehicle, and authorities urge motorists to use caution.
They looked north to see southbound traffic. They didn't see a vehicle that was coming towards them, and she pulled out right in front of them. Unfortunately, she had 3 passengers in the vehicle with her, and one of them was transported to FMH.
Well, I think one of the big things is with the continuous flux of temperature that we need to be real careful, because there's a lot of hoarfrost coming up out of the ground, and so roads that look like they have no snow on them actually have ice, and so they need to basically slow down.
2 North Pole men accused of kidnapping a woman at gunpoint from her home were indicted this afternoon by a Fairbanks grand jury. 40-year-old Isaac John Horman and 57-year-old Bill Kraus face charges including kidnapping, first-degree robbery, and burglary. Now, according to court documents, the 2 men pulled into the driveway of the residence in North Pole. They approached a male victim with a gun and forced him to hand over his cell phone, money, and wallet. Horman and Kraus then forced one woman into their vehicle at gunpoint and left the scene. The 2 allegedly called the male victim, demanding over $1,000 ransom, but they later crashed the vehicle into a ditch and the woman was able to escape safely. Both men are being held at Fairbanks Correctional Center.
Alaska Governor-elect Bill Walker announced 2 appointments to his administration yesterday. Walker chose Grace Jang as his spokesperson. Jang most recently worked as an investigative reporter and executive producer at KTUU Channel 2. That's the NBC affiliate in Anchorage. Walker, the first Fairbanks-born person to be elected governor of Alaska, appointed former Fairbanks North Star Borough Mayor Jim Whitaker as his chief of staff. Walker says he spent several days in conversations with Whitaker following the November 4th general election. He says the former state legislator will make a fine fit with his cabinet.
He's done a lot of good things in his various times in office, and I look forward to him being a chief of staff in my administration. So it's a good fit for his issues of oil and gas issues and et cetera. We have similar backgrounds in construction, and so it's just a good fit.
Governor Sean Parnell spoke yesterday at the Resource Development Council conference in Anchorage. It was his first speech since conceding the governor's race to Bill Walker. Monty Bowen has more in this report.
Parnell has served as governor since July 2009 when former Governor Sarah Palin resigned. Governor Parnell told those at the conference yesterday serving as governor had been the honor of a lifetime.
I think when I combine both the economic growth side of the equation with the real human side of public safety and domestic violence and sexual assault efforts, I'm leaving the office a much better place than I found it.
He said one thing he regretted was not getting enough information in 2010 about the National Guard issues.
With the National Guard, I wish I would have known in 2010 what I know now in 2014 about the information I got in February and was able to bring in that investigation. But I also feel like we're leaving that in a good place in the sense that we brought that to light through that investigation.
Parnell said he doesn't plan to seek another elected office.
I just turned 52 years old, and I think I've got a lot more years to serve Alaska in the private sector.
Parnell's remarks Wednesday happened to fall on his birthday. This is Bonnie Bowen reporting.
All right, when we come back, dark winter nights telling true stories of Alaska.
All right, and it's my favorite day, Thursday. Do you know why?
Why?
Can you guess?
Sure.
Fairbanks Flavor. We have another edition of Fairbanks Flavor tonight, so those stories are next. Stay with us.
Welcome back. Many Alaska residents say the midnight summer sun makes up for the state's dark winter nights. However, there is a growing contingent of artists who cannot wait for the eternal sunlight to give way to the twilight of winter. In part one of a two-part series, Jamie Schwartzwald explores the world of aurora chasers.
Cheers of joy cast into the dark night as the northern lights dance across the sky just outside of Fairbanks.
You know, we come out a lot of times in groups, and there's hooping and hollering and whistling and screaming and you know, the excitement. You just can't beat that.
Auroras result from emissions of photons in the Earth's upper atmosphere, which are ionized by the collision of solar wind and magnospheric particles being funneled down and accelerated along the Earth's magnetic field. In simpler terms,
I just always say it's magic. There's no other explanation.
Because it's amazing. Each show is completely different. It's out of the world, literally.
Nobody doesn't like Mother Nature, just the colors and the activity.
Active auroras are ones that sweep across the sky or fall to the earth in curtains. Active aurora chasers are never far from their camera. They shoot with high ISO settings and long exposures, capturing amazing images of the dancing lights. Now, shooting photography in dark, unforgiving conditions comes with some challenge. Roger Marty has been shooting the aurora for over 30 years, saying he's taken 30 to 40,000 photographs of the lights. However, he has never plunged a shutter on the perfect shot.
I don't know if there is such a thing as the perfect photograph. Could try. We try. Everybody tries.
Knowing your gear. You got to know your camera in order to get a good shot of it.
You know, you're moving around a lot, and you're in the dark, and settings change, and you forget to change them sometimes because the lights start moving so fast, and you get so excited. You take 20 pictures, and they're all bad because your settings moved a little bit on your camera.
On Friday, we will take a look at the bond that forms between these chasers during part 2 of this story. Jamie Schwartzwald reporting.
Dark Winter Nights, True Stories from Alaska is a live storytelling event where selected Alaskans come to share their unique and riveting stories about living in our state. It's taking place at 8 o'clock on Saturday night at the Pioneer Park Civic Center. Rob Prince is a UAF professor and the event's coordinator. Now, he says this is an admission-free experience the whole family can enjoy as they hear some rare and amazing local stories accompanied by live music. And this year, they are opening up an exclusive opportunity for the audience.
New this year is we're going to take one audience member and that night to tell a story, which is kind of exciting. I didn't want this event to be open mic because I wanted to go out and find people who would never go to an open mic storytelling event and bring them in so you can hear their stories. But I did kind of want to have a little bit of that feel to it. So during intermission, we're going to take names of people who have stories, and then in the second half of the program, we're going to pull one audience member to tell a story right on the spot. So anybody who comes to the event with a story could be one of our storytellers.
And now it's time for this week's edition of Fairbanks Flavor. What's on the menu? Well, sausage and pepper subs.
Welcome to Fairbanks Flavor. I'm Lisa Gambardella, and we're downtown at Gambardella's Pasta Bella. Today we're making an Italian-American favorite, sausage and pepper subs. So take your sausage, cut it and split it and get it in the pan. And we're also going to add our veggies, some onion, and some garlic. Get that in the oil there. Some salt and pepper. We're going to let that cook for a long time. Let those flavors simmer. You want that sausage flavor in there. And I'll give you my favorite wine lesson about the Sangiovese grape. The Sangiovese is the name of the grape, and when you grow it in the Chianti region of Italy, you can then call it a Chianti. Bruce at Brown Jug can help you select a delicious Italian wine to go with your sausage and pepper sub. This has been cooking for a while. So now I'm going to add my marinara sauce. Wow, that looks delicious. This is ready to go, or you can cook it for a little while longer. Put it in some of our homemade bread. Ooh, look at that. Wow. Molto bene. Enjoy all our recipes at webcenter11.com.
Brought to you by Gamberdel's Pasta Bella.
Always so good.
That was extraordinary.
That was extraordinary.
Oh man, that looks so good.
That
so
does.
good.
We always just sit here and salivate over
Yes, we
this.
do.
As
Yes, we
this
do.
is playing, I want everybody to know we are watching it like.
All right. Up next in sports, some high school hockey action from this afternoon. And could the UAF women's b-ball team win on the road?
I don't know. Plus, one high school swimmer signs her national letter of intent. Where will Cassidy Heaton go?
Well, find out more with Joe Cook after the break.
Welcome back into your Alaska. Joe Cook here in Sports C4 this Thursday evening with your local sports. One local swimmer will be taking her talents to the University of Alaska Fairbanks. West Valley senior Cassidy Heaton inked her national letter of intent Wednesday afternoon to swim for head coach Scott Limley and the Alaska Nanooks. Hinton is a hotly touted distance swimmer, winning back-to-back 500-yard freestyle region titles for the Wolfpack. She was also team captain on a team that won its 6th straight Region 6 championship just this year. Heaton finished 5th in the state in the 500 free and 7th in the 200 free at the end of the season. Heaton's father, John, is the chairman of the history department at the U. Her mother, Rachel Luladeer, was a 3-sport athlete in high school, and her stepmother, Rebecca Heaton, swam the 1650 free and the 400 medley for the UAF Nanooks back in 2005. So Cassidy is very comfortable continuing her swimming career right up the street from West Valley to the U. She misses her old competitors and teammates like Martha Hood and Katie Stark, who were a factor in Cassidy picking UAF.
I'm really excited to be swimming with them, not during club season because we've done that, but during college, I'm excited to compete against them again because I've missed them. I would love to represent my hometown, and they have a great group of girls.
In this day and age with phones and everything else, kids can get easily distracted, and Cassidy is extremely focused, and that's easy to coach. Because when someone's willing to walk through a wall for you, that's easy. I just got to say when and how hard.
The Nanook rifle team will be back in the range this weekend. The Alaska Nanooks have had some time off. Their last match was a month ago. A loss to TCU in Fort Worth, Texas. UAF is 3-1 overall, and the defending Patriot Rifle Conference champions are 1-1 in the conference. This weekend, Alaska hosts number 2 Kentucky and number 5 Nebraska. UAF will shoot against the Wildcats at 9 a.m. on Friday morning tomorrow, and then Nebraska on Sunday morning at 9 a.m. as well. The Nanooks will need some solid performances to make up some ground. Coming in as the number 2 team in the nation to begin the year, Alaska is now number 7. UAF did defeat both Kentucky and Nebraska last season. When the Nooks beat Kentucky, the Wildcats were number 1 last year. The Alaska shooters will have a full team as Ryan Anderson and Tim Sherry return from their international competitions. Sagan Madalena and Lordley Stanfield will also be key shooters for the Nooks this weekend. All matches are in the E.F. Horton Rifle Range in the Patty Center. The Nanook women's basketball team continues their strong start to the season with their first road win of the year. The first 5 minutes were hotly contested, but the Nanooks gained a 17-16 advantage and would not trail the rest of the way as they win 94-72 over Dixie State. It's the 3rd straight game UAF has scored 90 or more points. Sophomore forward Jordan Wilson was Jordan-esque with a game-high 28 points and 10 boards. Senior point guard Benisa Bulaya added a season-high 17 points. The Nanooks held the Red Storm to 27 points in the second half. UAF will have a day off before playing Cal State San Marcos in the Dixie Women's Basketball Thanksgiving Classic opener on Friday. Alaska is now 3-0 to start the year. Switching to high school sports, high school hockey this afternoon in the Patty Center Ice Arena. The West Valley Wolfpack hosting the Service Cougars. Last time these teams played, Service won 3-2. That was West Valley's first game of the year. The first period of today's rematch went scoreless until Edgar Gonzalez from long distance after the face-off to give Service a 1-0 lead. Physical game as Gabe Rankin sends Ronan Clancher airborne, but he was okay. And later in the period, Cougars with a 5-on-3 power play, and Bat Cooper finds a crease and he gets a goal. Just a few minutes later, Tyler Millard gets a point off the Wolfpack turnover, and he scores on a shorthanded breakaway 3-0 service going into the third. West Valley, they would rally though. Caleb Moretz scored with 10-10 remaining to put the Pack on the board. Then Logan Arpino, he would make it a 2-3 game with his slapper from the left circle, and there's just 1:18 to go. But Service would hold on for a 3-2 victory, getting a crucial stop at the buzzer. The Cougars get the win, and West Valley drops to 2-3 on the year.
Two teams is huge. Yeah, defense played great. we didn't get as much shots as we wanted, but we still got the puck in the net, so that's all that matters. We had a good penalty kill, good game overall. We kind of came out flat, from the bus ride, but it went all right. I thought it was a good first game up here in Fairbanks.
You can't lapse for 2 or 3 minutes. We give up a 5-on-3, couple undisciplined penalties. We finally get a chance on a power play, and we have a bad turnover, give up a shorthanded goal. So, yeah, a little disappointing. Like the way the guys came back and competed, but still a loss is a loss at the end of the day.
And that'll do it for sports tonight. Thanks for rocking with me for a little while. Mike Schultz is next with your full weather forecast, and we'll catch you next time.
Welcome back to the weather segment of our broadcast. Mike Schultz is not in today, getting a well-deserved rest, so I'll go ahead and take a look at the weather for you. We're starting with Mike's Fab Photos. Yes, the 2015 calendar is out, and guess what? It is free. You can pick that up on locations and businesses all around town, including Tubby's Barbecue and even the Fudge Pot. They're shrinking. So go out there, get them while you can, because there's few left. Okay, very good. Let's go ahead and take a look at our almanac for this evening. Our normal high, or our high today actually, was 18. Our low was 6. Record high set on this date in 1943, 40 degrees. Record low minus 37. Believe it or not, that was only 3 years ago in 2011. Our sunrise was at 9:45, sunset at 3:30, giving us 5 hours, 45 minutes. That is a decrease of 6 minutes over yesterday. Let's go ahead and take a look at the Alaskan satellite. Now, this is interesting because you can see that top of the circular pattern of that's coming into the Gulf Coast, and it's actually affecting most of the western boundary of the state as well, but that is being diminished by the range. We're still going to see if we can get some snow this weekend, but it's not going to be much accumulation, so we'll wait on that as well. But other than that, actually Anchorage is not seeing too much of it either, because they still only have less than an inch of accumulation for the winter. Very interesting to see that. Let's go ahead and take a look at conditions around the state. As you can see, Barrow 16 degrees, 40 degrees above in Nome. That's pretty good for them. Bethel 29. If you can look, the only precipitation we're seeing really is right around the Ketchikan area on the Panhandle, 47 degrees for them. Juneau checking in at 35, and in the interior, mostly overcast and cool. Let's go ahead and take a look down at the lower 48, and as you can see, there is a storm system around the Pacific Northwest, but really all the attention is being drawn to the East Coast, especially up there in Stephanie Woodard's hometown of Buffalo, New York, where they've had 7 feet of snow, and the lake effect snows are actually going to continue throughout the weekend, and they could get an additional 3 feet of snow. That is amazing. I'm sure it's going to start a record. It continues for them, so hopefully, there won't be, no easy way to say it, but hopefully they can shovel out of that experience. Otherwise, the rest of the country looking fairly good, and then Miami with thunderstorms in that area. Okay, let's go ahead and take a look at our satellite radar, and there you can see a clear example of those lake effect snows taking place as the jet stream goes over the big lakes, and then basically what happens is the moisture kicks off of those lakes and gets up into the atmosphere and then creates those snows. So that's where it's developing right there. So more for them over the weekend. Okay, let's go ahead and take a look at the snowfall accumulation through Thursday around those big lakes. You can see anything in blue, 6 to almost a foot of snow, and 3 to 6 inches in the white. So yeah, just I can't imagine that. I think Fairbanks in 1991, we had 12 feet of snow. They've already almost surpassed that, and it's not even December yet for them. Let's go ahead and take a look at forecasts for tomorrow. Starting up north here, blowing snow and fog for Barrow, isolated snow showers for Nome and for Yukon. Taking a look in the interior, well, partly cloudy across the region. We're still going to not see too much precipitation, but that's coming for the weekend, possibly, maybe. Let's go ahead and take a look real quick down at the Panhandle. Dense fog for Juneau and continued rain for Ketchikan. Over in the southwest, if I can get this clicker working, there it goes. Yes, rain for Cold Bay. Strong winds for Kodiak and showers for Bethel. And taking a look real quickly at south central conditions, mixed showers across the region could turn into some snowfall for Anchorage finally this time of year. Okay, let's go ahead and take a look at our short range forecast for the overnight. 0, mostly clear skies and warmer in the hills. As we take a look at tomorrow, you can see 11 above, a little cooler for us. Partly cloudy skies continue. And then as we take a look at the aurora watched for tonight. Moderate levels. In fact, about a week ago on Saturday, I saw some brilliant displays. Now it's going to just tone down to moderate levels, but you can still see them if the clouds will participate and help. Now there is an air quality alert. Fairbanks is within standards, but however, North Pole is still in an unhealthy category. That's effective until 5 p.m. Wednesday. Not Wednesday, Friday. Sorry about that. Okay, let's go ahead now and take a look at, well, you know, our 5-day forecast is not going to come up because there it goes. As you can see, we can have snow possibilities into Saturday. Sunday, pretty overcast, but then snow possibilities again for the start of the work week next week, but it's a short week next week because we have Thanksgiving break. So temperatures in the single digits to the teens and overnight lows, look at that. You might want to start plugging in your cars if you leave them outside overnight. 10 below for the expected overnight lows.
That's quite the forecast there.
Yeah, no kidding. A little bit of mix and match, but really, all the weather is down south.
It is, you know. I just cannot believe how much snow. And that lake effect snow is heavy.
Yes.
There's it is hard to plow out of that.
I'm sure it could be. And we have run out of time for tonight. With that, we'll say good night, and we'll see you back here at 11.